What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor and Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor and Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor and Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, March the 22nd. We have two guests here today from the State Historical Society. First of all, JOAN STACK, who really needs no introduction. Good to have you here, JOAN.
Oh, it's always nice to be here.
Yeah, JOAN, I consider a walking encyclopedia. She is, isn't she?
Yeah,
a walking encyclopedia of Missouri history. And then we have ISABEL MILLER. You're a curatorial intern.
Yes.
What is that?
I'm here to help Joan with all of her curatorial needs, with the art gallery and research and all that kind of stuff.
All right, today you wanted to talk about what, Joan?
Well, we have a new exhibition opening, and, well, it's already open. It's called Domestic Animals and American Identity, a selection of works by George Caleb Bingham and Thomas Hart Benton, who are, of course, our signature artists at the State Historical Society.
And people could probably be surprised to realize that some of these animals that we think are purely American are not.
That's right. I mean, what I became really interested in this. We did another show on native creatures, native animals from Missouri. And I kind of got interested in that the animals that we think of as American are not American at all. They are brought in as colonial animals in a way. They are the immigrant animals that the European colonists bring in. So early on, the Spanish bring the horse in, and then a little bit later, we start getting cattle, we start getting chickens, pigs, all of those animals.
So you're saying that horses, chickens, pigs,
cattle,
cows were not here.
No, these are not native animals.
So what did the Native Americans have?
Well, as you know, the buffalo was very important to them, and that's related to the cow. And
but
so
the chickens were not here?
No, but there were other things. There was what we call the prairie chicken, which is, there was good eating, lots of ducks, different types of fowl.
Cattle were not here?
No cattle. Again, the buffalo is probably the closest thing, but it was not domesticated.
Goats?
There were mountain goats. There were certain types of goats, but not the domestic goats that we associate. They were wild. I mean, a lot of these animals were wild. I think one of the animals that was domesticated in South America was, of course, the llama, and that was used as a pack animal. But the Native Americans, they had domesticated dogs, which were probably related to the wolves and the coyotes, but they did not have domesticated farm animals the way we have them.
Okay, and the horses came when?
They came with the Spanish, so pretty early, like in the 16th century, maybe even in the 15th century, the late 15th century. So they come very early on. And so the Native Americans do start getting horses from that early date. So you start finding horses here, one of the first domestic animals that the Native Americans do adopt.
Isabel, what do you want to add to this?
I mean, Joan's kind of covered it. I think it's interesting to, like you were saying, it's surprising you think these animals are here. It's so central to especially the Midwest and Missouri with cattle. So it's kind of spins history on its head.
And
you brought some artwork along.
Yeah, so here we have a...
Hold it up this way.
This way? All right. Okay. A drawing by George Caleb Bingham of a cow, and this is one of very few that is documented by George Caleb Bingham, under 200, and the State Historical Society has 10 of them.
Drawings,
yeah. Of the drawings, the sketches.
It's a pencil drawing.
Charcoal,
that is a pencil drawing, so if you want to see that, you can look at it on our YouTube or watch us on KMOS. But that's a beautiful rendition there. How old is that then?
This one, we believe, dates back to 1860s or 70s. It was found in a sketchbook that was then given to George Caleb Bingham's friend, James Rollins, which is famously known in Columbia.
Then you have another picture here.
Yeah, so with George Caleb Bingham, he would often use cows to reflect the colonization of the West or of Missouri. Whenever you see cows, you might have a wild river landscape, but the cows reflect that there's farmland there, and European Americans. Thomas Hart Benton did similar things with his images. I think a lot of his images of the domestic animals relate to the taming, the attempts to domesticate the Western landscape, which was hard.
Right.
But animals were a part of this. And this is a famous one called The Race. And
Yeah, and there's a train, the Iron Horse,
Yes.
Racing with a real live horse.
Yes, and this is a very popular work by Thomas Hart Benton. This is a lithograph, and again, it shows this kind of beautiful horse silhouetted against a kind of a Midwestern sky, and then there's a steam train that's racing the horse, and we even see power lines. So reflections
Right.
of technology that's coming in. So the old guard, the animals that were introduced early on by the Europeans, like the horse, then they are kind of in competition with the new technology, the new things that are conquering the West, like the steam engine. So Benton is dealing with these themes. One of the things I love about this is the horse's form is reflected in kind of a puddle, reflecting the transience. So that puddle we're seeing a landscape in transition. This reflection of the horse in the puddle is going to disappear in a few minutes. The train will shortly overtake the horse. So it's very much about change, about the nature of change, the nature of technological change, landscape change, environmental change. So a lot of these deal with some really larger themes that we're still dealing with in America.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is absolutely beautiful. How long will this exhibit be open?
We are running this exhibit through the entire year, so it will close probably in December of next year, December of this year, sorry.
Yeah, this is 2022.
Yes, 2022, December 2022. And we will have a change out of the exhibit where we will bring in different works by George Caleb Bingham and Thomas Hart Benton in the summer, probably July.
So how many different pieces of artwork do you have that's available?
Gosh. Well, in the collection to study, if you want to come and study our artworks, we have 30,000 artworks.
30,000?
Now, obviously, we can never display all of those probably in my lifetime, but we bring out a lot of the George Caleb Bingham and Thomas Hart Benton works because they are world famous. So this is an opportunity to rotate some of those through. We have about 400 Bentons. We have probably about 50 to 60 works by George Caleb Bingham.
How do you decide what you're going to put in a show?
Well, coming up with a theme then helps direct where you go with it. So this idea of the domestic animals, which sort of evolved from the native animals, which we did as a bicentennial exhibit. Once we had that theme, then we look for artworks that kind of fit into that theme. And it's a great opportunity to show off some of our works on paper by these famous artists.
But I had no idea how many pieces of artwork you have there.
Yeah, and a lot of editorial cartoons, as you know. We've come in and talked about those.
Yeah. Well, Joan, thank you so much for coming by State Historical Society today. She really is a walking encyclopedia. I say that sincerely. And Isabel Miller, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate both of you. If you want more information, you're open every day but Mondays.
Mondays and Sundays.
Okay. Thank you so much. Out of time. Bye-bye.